welcome you. For this deep dive, we're looking into something pretty interesting and fairly new on the pageant scene, Miss Business Global.
That's right. We've got an interview with the CEO, Bezi Trần, and a podcast he was on.
Yeah, so our mission today is really to unpack what makes this pageant system different, what makes it stand out.
Okay. Well, it was founded just recently, 2023.
Yeah.
And what immediately jumps out is the official backing it has.
From the Vietnamese government, right?
Exactly. Official approval, support. They even went through this, 3-year process to get the exclusive copyright.
3 years. Wow. Okay, that alone tells you something. What was so unique, I wonder?
Good question. It suggests the concept was pretty novel for Vietnam at the time.
And it's definitely not your typical pageant. It's open to Ms. and Mrs. contestants.
Any age, too, which broadens the field considerably.
But the big thing seems to be the focus, right? Not just traditional beauty, but their stories.
Yeah, inspirational stories, real-life stuff, overcoming adversity. That seems key.
So let's dig into that. We want to get at the founding ideas, the vision, the challenges, and what kind of impact they're actually aiming for.
Right. So starting with the why, what was Bezi Trần motivation?
Well, based on the sources, it sounds like he looked around the pageant world and saw, well, a gap.
A gap. In what sense?
He felt existing pageants may be focused too much on, say, conventional beauty or performance skills,
Okay.
and not enough on honoring women who were, talented business figures and had overcome significant challenges, women with real resilience.
I see. So less about just the performance on stage, more about the life story and the business success behind it.
Exactly. And he specifically wanted to elevate how businesswomen are seen in pageantry.
How so? Was there a perception issue?
It seems he felt some other contests, maybe those with a business focus, ended up prioritizing, let's say, the financial side, like who could bring in sponsors rather than the actual value and story of the title holder.
Right. So he wanted the title of beauty queen to mean something more in this context, tied to genuine business achievement and inspiration.
Precisely. He wanted to pivot that focus.
Okay, that makes sense. And that desire, that why, clearly feeds into the founding story itself. You mentioned the 3 years for approvals.
Yeah, that wasn't just a rubber stamp, apparently. Getting the copyright and trademark from the Vietnamese government took real effort.
Which really underscores how new this specific concept in international pageant focused this way was within Vietnam.
Absolutely. It suggests, a certain amount of pushing boundaries and needing to really sell the vision. That takes grit, doesn't it?
It certainly does. A strong belief in what they were building.
So that brings us to the vision itself. What were the core goals they set out with?
Well, the focus was clearly defined. Businesswomen, yes, but specifically those with positive, uplifting, inspirational stories.
Not just success, but the journey to success.
Exactly. And the goal wasn't just the crowning. It was about using that platform, post-win, to showcase the Queen's real value, their humanitarian work, their impact.
And they were thinking big from the start. Global.
Oh, yeah. International expansion through franchising was definitely part of the plan from early on.
Okay, so who are the people driving this? We know Bezi Trần, the CEO.
Right. And the podcast also introduced his co-founder, Min Long. Their backgrounds are interesting, kind of complementary.
Tell me about Bezi Trần background first. I saw geography education.
Yeah, a bachelor's in that. But his career path leaned heavily into the arts and pageantry. He's been a pageant director, actor, advisor.
Ah, and he was first runner-up Mr. Cinema Vietnam himself back in 2018.
Right. So he understands the performance, the presentation side, what makes someone compelling on stage and off.
Okay. And Min Long.
His story is quite different. He's CEO of the MBG organization and also LD Entertainment. Apparently, he started supporting his family very young.
Right.
Then built a career over 15-plus years in the beauty industry, eventually becoming an international makeup artist. So real hands-on industry experience and entrepreneurial drive.
You can see how those two skill sets, the pageant art side and the beauty business side, would mesh well.
Definitely seems like a strong partnership.
Now, for a system just starting in 2023, their reach is, well, it's kind of surprising, over 30 countries already.
It is impressive. The list is long. Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Cambodia, Myanmar, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Netherlands, Poland, Latvia, Belgium, Benelux.
Wow, keep going.
South Africa, Cameroon, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Czech Republic, France, Spain, Peru, Ecuador, Japan, Nigeria, the UAE. It's a wide net.
That's incredibly fast expansion. What does that signal to you?
It suggests the concept resonated quickly, maybe tapped into an unmet need, or perhaps they had a very effective outreach strategy right out of the gate.
Makes you wonder how they manage that network so fast.
It does. And importantly, they also established the MBG Charity Fund for children and people with disabilities.
Ah, so a philanthropic angle built in from the start.
Seems so. Which ties back to that idea of broader impact, beyond just the contest. How do you think that fits with their empowerment message?
Well, Bezi Trend's definition of women's empowerment based on the interview is quite specific. It's not just generic success talk.
Oh,
It's about creating concrete opportunities for women who might have been overlooked, especially those who faced real hardship and use business as their way forward, their transformation tool.
so empowerment through opportunity and recognizing resilience.
Yeah. Viewing business as a way to create positive change, not just personal wealth.
Okay. Now, the first actual pageant, 2023 in Dak Nang Province, Vietnam. It wasn't all smooth sailing initially.
No, it sounds like they had some typical first-year hurdles. Getting lots of international contestants and big sponsors right away was a challenge.
Understandable for a new venture on the global stage.
But the sources say it was still considered a success internally. It built a foundation, gained some prestige within Vietnam.
And then 2024 had its own unexpected twist.
Right, the cancellation of the grand final due to national mourning in Vietnam.
That shows a certain sensitivity, respecting national events over their own schedule. They did hold a smaller awards event, though.
Yes, but it highlights how external factors can impact these things. So let's get to the core of it. What really makes Miss Business Global different? What's its special sauce?
Well, one thing that stood out from the interview is the level of interaction between contestants and sponsors during the competition.
How so? More than just a meet and greet.
Apparently, yes. It sounded like real opportunities for networking, maybe even exploring business collaborations. Not just a pageant, but potentially a business development event, too.
That is different and connects directly to the business aspect.
Exactly. And then there's the huge emphasis on the story, giving these women an international stage to share their personal journeys.
Right, connecting with the audience on that deeper, more human level, showcasing the person behind the business title.
And the post-crowning stuff seems quite involved, too.
Yeah, what happens after they win?
It's not just appearances. They mentioned involvement in political events, brand collaborations, fashion shows,
Okay.
and significant charity work, both in Vietnam and back in the Queen's home countries.
Right.
They have this MBG Queen Tour program specifically for that.
So the reign seems very active, very focused on impact.
It appears that way. More than just ribbon cutting.
Well, let's talk judging. They use the 4 Bs, is that right?
Yes, the 4 Bs, it's their framework. Brand, business, beauty, and body.
Okay, break those down for me. Brand.
That's about their personal brand, their influence, how they project themselves.
Right. Business.
That looks at the inspirational story behind the business, their actual business sense, and how well they connect with the business community.
Makes sense. Beauty, is that the traditional pageant focus?
It's framed more around self-care, well-being, overall presentation, looking after oneself.
Okay, a holistic view.
And body. That relates to physical health, maybe transformation journeys, showing discipline and health consciousness as another form of inspiration.
So it's a pretty comprehensive checklist. Moves way beyond just looks.
Definitely multifaceted evaluation.
And who does the evaluating? Who are the judges?
They typically bring in people with relevant backgrounds, former beauty queens, artists, business folks, sponsors, a mix of perspectives.
Standard enough.
But here's an interesting detail. The sources said the judges' results are actually advisory.
Advisory. So who makes the final call?
The two CEOs, Bezi Trần and Min Long.
Really? What does that imply, do you think?
Well, it suggests they want the final decision based on perhaps the entire journey they've observed throughout the competition, not just scores on specific days, a more overarching assessment maybe.
Interesting. Okay, so if someone's thinking of entering, what's the actual experience like? It sounds intense.
It does. The sources mentioned it's typically over 10 days long.
10 days. Okay, what do they do?
A whole range of things. Sightseeing, cultural activities, trying local food, environmental projects, visiting businesses.
So immersion in the host location.
Yeah, plus sponsor interactions, charity work, a talent show, and those closed-door, more in-depth interviews.
It seems like a packed schedule designed to test them in lots of different ways.
Very much so. An immersive experience, definitely demanding.
And the payoff. We've heard the reign is active, but what about the winners themselves? Any standout success stories?
Absolutely. They highlighted the 2023 winners quite a bit.
Okay.
Miss Business Global 2023, Elisa Miskovska from Latvia. She apparently landed ambassadorships with Mercedes-Benz and BMW in Latvia.
Wow, those are major brands.
Yeah, plus fashion show appearances, red carpets, real commercial opportunities.
Okay. And the other 2023 title holder? Miss Business Ambassador.
That was Hong Thanh Loan from Vietnam. Her focus seems to have been more on charity and political engagement within Vietnam.
Right.
She was also named one of the top 50 influential women in Asia in 2023 and has been involved in producing art programs.
So really diverse paths depending on the individual and the title?
Exactly. And they gave updates on the 2024 winners, too. Misato Araki from Japan, who's Miss Business Global 2024, and Lily Vo from North Netherlands, the Miss Business Ambassador 2024. They're both currently developing projects, doing charity work. Lily Vo is active in the Netherlands and Vietnam,
Okay.
plus media appearances, engaging with the MBG organizations network. Shows the support continues.
It really underscores that the title is meant to be a starting point, not just an end point.
Seems to be the philosophy.
So what's next for Miss Business Global? Are they tweaking the formula?
They are planning changes for 2025. The big one is they intend to crown 2 grand winners.
2. Interesting. Why, I wonder?
The sources didn't specify the exact reasoning, but it's a significant shift. We'll have to see how that plays out.
And besides that?
They're focusing on developing better promotional materials and really pushing for more franchise registrations globally, continuing that expansion drive.
Still ambitious, then. Not resting on their laurels.
Doesn't seem like it.
And thinking long-term, what's the ultimate legacy Bezi Trần hopes to build?
His main goal, according to the interview, is about maintaining the prestige and the brand value.
For the future.
Yeah, ensuring it remains a respected and valuable entity for whoever might own or run it down the line. He feels the work done so far by the Queens has built a strong foundation for that.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've had a pretty thorough deep dive into Miss Business Global.
We have.
Key takeaways seem to be unique focus on inspirational businesswomen, that official Vietnamese government backing, surprisingly rapid global reach.
Right, and a strong emphasis on creating real impact after the crown, going beyond the stage.
It definitely feels like an attempt to, redefine what a beauty pageant can be, focusing on resilience, business smarts, and making a difference.
Absolutely. Shifting the spotlight towards celebrating women's multifaceted achievements, especially those forged through adversity in the business world.
Which leads us nicely to a final thought for you, our listener. When you look at the kinds of women Miss Business Global is elevating their diverse backgrounds, their hard-won successes, what does that suggest about how our ideas of success and influence might be changing today?
Yeah, maybe think about how platforms like this, maybe unexpected platforms, can give a voice and visibility to stories and perspectives we might not otherwise hear. What does that mean for who gets to be seen as influential?
Straight, but the path I chose led me to this twisted state. Every step I take, the shadows start to sway. I'm lost inside the maze, can't seem to find my way. Caught up in the spiral, spinning round and round. Every turn I make, I'm falling to the ground. A tangled web of thoughts, I can't seem to unwind. This twisted world I'm in is messing with my mind. Twisted like the vines that grow around my heart, tearing me apart, leaving every scar. I'm twisted in the night, wrapped up in the dark, trying to break free, but I don't know where to start. Twisted, ooh, I'm twisted. The mirror shows a face I barely recognize, a stranger looking back with haunted hollow eyes. The truth is twisted up, I can't tell what is real. Lost inside a dream that I can't help but feel. Caught up in the spiral, spinning round and round. Every turn I make, I'm falling to the ground. A tangled web of thoughts, I can't seem to unwind. This twisted world I'm in is messing with my mind. Twisted like the vines that grow around my heart, tearing me apart, leaving every scar. I'm twisted in the night, wrapped up in the dark, trying to break free, but I don't know where to start. try to fight, the more I seem to stray. Caught in the confusion, I'm tangled in this fate. But somewhere in the madness, I'll find my way to break. Like the vines that grow around my heart, tearing me apart, leaving every scar. I'm twisted in the night, wrapped up in the dark, trying to break free, but I don't